Hello one and all, this is Hybridsteel. Thank you very much for joining me in today's Pimp My Plot video. So today's Pimp My Plot video comes from a user called The Last True Knight, a Hydroneer Discord user. If you guys want to know where the Hydroneer Discord is, it's in the link description box below. There's a link there that says Hydroneer Discord, all good. And he sent me this build, and obviously, yes, I'm using mods. You can get the mods from the Discord, it's all good. But what I'm doing today is he's basically given me this and said, is it possible to make this more streamlined? Also, having trouble with things falling through conveyor belts and things being shot out of the sorters too quickly. So one thing that I've noticed straight away is that he's got like 9 sorters. He's literally tried each side of the conveyor belts, where he has his ram drills, to just basically produce on its own side. Now, from previous experiences, I know that it is possible to run all of these through one harvester into one load of sorters. So what we've got to try and come to a conclusion is what we're going to need to keep and what we're going to need to actually do. Also, he's running 3 intake pipes with the crystals all around the wrong way. I'm going to be honest, these are pretty useless. And he's got quite a lot of like shard bars and everything stuck into different pipes. Also, the other thing that I have noticed is he's got his filters around the wrong way. So we'll have to sort of mess with this as well. So I'm going to be taking all of these apart, and we're going to be trying to stick all this together. Now, the reason why I'm saying that there's a couple of things that I would definitely change is because he's running 13 ram drills per line. So that's 13 ram drills plus the 13 the conveyor belts. So that's 13, 26, 39, 39 and double it for the pipes as well. So we're looking at about 80%. You can run this whole one side off of just like 100% crystals, which is not too bad. Which means these extra like chambers are obsolete. Don't really need them. But we will need another chamber run to fit into this. And that's where I'm going to be sort of like messing around here just to try and get all this to run off of one thing as well. So what I want to do is I want to get all of this running on one side on one pipe, and I want to run this on another pipe, and then everything else down there running normally. So we'll have enough left over to run the conveyor belts up to the harvesters, and then we're going to have to redesign the harvester section as well. So I'm going to get on and do that. Okay, so the reason why we've done that straight away, and I'll explain this right now, is that will come up at 50%, and then the filters take 2% off each one, but each one is like it's guaranteed to keep the water pressure and so on and so forth. So that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100% protection. We're going to put crystals into the thingies as well, so we'll get that done now. What I'll do is, I think it's this one. Yes, it's that one. We'll take our crystal bar and we'll stick it in the things. Now, all of this, you don't have to connect these up. We can work with that in a bit. I'm going to get rid of this. Don't need it. 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 What I've done is I've basically turned... So he's going to get full 100% pressure down one line, which is this line here. And then you're going to fill these up, and that's going to be 100% pressure down there as well. So everything stops at the conveyor belts, which is good. What I need to do is I need to sort of try and work this into just one belt, and then we need to basically take everything apart and then resurface it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of this, and we're going to try and streamline this down. So just trying to make it a little bit better. Now, when it comes to putting those gauges in, and I've seen a couple of people do this, I used to use gauges as well until I sort of figured out sort of like how things are going to be working. So one thing that he was mentioning is that he had problems with his sorters. They were spitting out quite a lot. And the reason why, and I've been through this a couple of times with like in my builds, is that you've put them all together. So the problem with putting sorters all together is that when you've put sorters together, they tend to mess up because there's not enough room for them to breathe. If you're going at full tilt like I've done before, the problem with going full tilt is it smegs up a lot. It really does. And it's not great and it's not amazing. And it just gets a little bit annoying. So I want everything to run through this harvester and this harvester only. Now I know I can replace this when needed, so it's all good. Now that's the reason why I'm using mods. So when I'm actually fixing people's builds like this, it's just quicker for me to do this. And it all sort of explains itself over time anyway. So the harvester, I can run off of this line. It doesn't need a lot of power. It just needs a little bit of gumption. I will get everything running through one harvester, and then yeah, we'll see about how it all works. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test this with mods and without mods as well. So if it does work, then it's all good, right? So the standard way of using a corner is to use a corner piece. Now I have a problem with corner pieces. They tend to, okay, sometimes they have issues and they're not always the greatest thing to be using. So what I tend to use, weirdly, is a vertical. So what I want to do is I want to make a drop. The reason why I want to make a drop in is because if I make a drop in, the dirt will just go onto this belt and be happy, and I don't have to worry about dirt going all over the place. So I'd probably window this up as well. That's working all right. Okay, toggle all rounds off. Close that. Delete everything. Okay, so at the moment we've got firing. Everything's firing. Everything's good. And there's no major problems. That passes dirt through magnificently. It doesn't actually have a problem. That means what we can do is, I mean, I want to keep the aesthetics of what he's been trying to do here, but we don't need all of this stuff. So this.
Several days later.
Right. So what I want to do is I want to move the sorter across one. And as he had 9 of them, it doesn't matter if I clone these up or not, because, you know, he had them anyway. The reason why I'm doing this is to sort of prove a point, but at the same time, to give it a bit more space to breathe. If you don't give your sorters a space to breathe, they won't work properly. Okay? And that's just how it is with this game. It's just, if it doesn't work, then it's definitely not going to work. And you definitely need to make it work. And the problem with trying to make things work is that sometimes things don't work properly. So you have to try and make things work a little bit better. I'll chuck in another one just to give it a bit more pressure to walk through. We'll stick that one on the corner. We'll take one of those, and actually no, I'm going to put a belt in there, so that's fine. We'll take another one of those, and we'll build a little box out of windows, just like Bethesda. It should just work. I'm going to put this one up here just in case, right? just to go, yeah, it should work. It should work, right? I'm going to put these... no. So, one thing that you should really pay attention to, and I said this in my previous Pimp My Plot video, use windows instead of the railings when it comes to this side of the harvester. And the reason why is it comes down to, if you don't know the answer already, I'll put it up, and it's literally, it's because windows don't have gaps, right? So they're just one bar of wood, and that's good. That's what we really wanted. So yeah, because he's going to be processing so much so quickly, the best thing he can really do is to literally just have this. No, I don't want to dig a big hole in the ground for him, because if I dig a big hole, then that's his lot. I don't want to mess around with the aesthetics of what he's going for. He could be looking at a real clean build, and that's why he's done the way he is. So I'm gonna stick to the way that he's done it. I'm gonna attempt to keep it sort of like nice. No, actually, yeah, I always do gems first. Gems, shards, dirt. No, not dirt. Iron, dirt, gold. And then at the bottom here, you're gonna want to put a smelter here, because of the, if the answer's not in the thing already, it's the Cloutium. You want to put Cloutium. So we're gonna put a box down. We're gonna take another smelter, and we're gonna put that there. Okay, so all we now have to do is just turn the red valves on here to turn the water off on the ends of his build. Okay, all good. Right, and I'm going to extend this out because uneven floor, it annoys me a little bit. It's the whole OCD, yeah, I'm a little bit strange. So, I mean, also, the plus side to doing this is that he can sit there and he can have his little area for smelting and, you know, making blocks and all the joys of this game and so on and so forth. Right, what I want to do next off is I want to clean up the sides. The reason why I want to clean up the sides is because I don't want things to fall off and I don't want things to go too erratically. What I want to do personally is I want to make sure that everything's working fine before I turn this on. So there is a brand new thing coming out that you can use. If you haven't watched the devlog from the developer of the game, he's literally making a thing that actually sits on the end of here. You can actually turn it on and just it crushes all gems into like big things. So it's almost worth looking out for that. So if you guys are watching this and you're like, well, okay, what's he talking about? There's a brand new thing, a tool coming out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I do on my builds. I'm going to put a window frame around it. So I mean, it helps if things do go amiss. Then you're all good. You've covered this little area, and that's what you actually need to do. So when I first started building stuff, one of my first setups sort of looked like this, with like all the extra all the extra belts flowing into like crucibles and stuff. That was back in the days when we used crucibles to like turn things down. But you know, that's it's stopped now. Now we've got these smelters, and it works just a lot better. So hopefully, let me just clone this up because we need a couple of these. Hopefully this will work, and when I say work, I hope it just like works like first time. That's all I can hope for. If there is any problems, we'll eventually sort this out. So, okay, so we've completely flattened his entire thing. Thankfully, I have the original file, so we can actually like bring that in as well. Let's turn it on. So everything, all the belts should be running now. Look at that. That's just sexy. That's awesome. Right. Next, we're going to toggle on all the ram drills. Now, we are using mods at the moment. I just want to see if this actually works with no issues. So the churning's going to start getting faster because we're now going up against more and more dirt pieces. I'm not seeing... Oh, there's a bit of gold. So there we go. That's 13, 20, 26... 54 ram drills working in unison with no problems. Right, let's go and check on the smelters to make sure they're smelting and there's no bits falling out. No bits, and everything's landing in the bucket. Look at that. I mean, that's just awesome. There you go. So the problems he was having is that he was having things falling through the conveyor belts and so on and so forth. So what I want to do is I'm going to have to turn all of this off. So toggle off all the ram drills. So they're all off now. I'm going to let the cycle finish. And what I want to do is I'm going to set this for 10 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why is because I'm going to come back and we're going to be doing this without any mods running. So I just want everything to finish first. Right. No mods at all. All the belts are running as standard. All good. What I now need to do is I need to turn on all the ram drills separately so we can test this working without any mods on. Right, so that's all of the ram drills on, that's all of the conveyor belts running, and here we go. So this is everything running with no mods, just to prove that it does actually work, okay? No mods. This is when it gets a little bit shapy, when it all starts just going like loads and loads of stuff on conveyor belts. As you can see, it's working. Again, without mods. This is working perfectly. Love it. I love it when a plan comes together. This is perfect. That's perfect. There's nothing dropping on the floors. There you go. I mean, as I said, so the reason why, when you're not playing with mods, this is the best way to have your sorters. And the reason why this is the way you do your sorters is because when you're transferring so many bits and pieces through each sorter, if you put them all together, the conveyor belts push everything extra quick. It goes through, and because the hitboxes are all joined, it just fires through and you have problems. If you're playing this game without mods and you're just playing it for a laugh, have your setup like this. The reason why, as you can see, everything comes out of here slightly raised above the belt. So if you put all this together, it just fires through. And so if you give it a space between each one, it slows down the process a little bit, goes through to the next one, and then it's the chain of command. It just keeps going. And then you get the final product with no problems and no issues. Okay? So guys, so I think this is done. Where are we at? So this is the last True Knights build. If this is what he wanted, this should be something along the lines of what he actually wanted. It works perfectly. It's all good. And it's fantastic. And here we are, back with mods. All good. And what I do, clean up the conveyor belts, because the best part about the F7 mod is you click this button and everything disappears. So everything that isn't in the smelter disappears, even the gems that were in here. They're not worth a lot, so it really doesn't matter. But later on, seriously, there is if you go and check out Max's video on Fallible Hangovers YouTube channel, I'll put a link in the description box. You can get the updates for this game, and he explains what he's doing. And literally, this gem cutter thing that he's got, it's going to change the way that we build some of this. So it's all good. So yeah, there you go. I've taken his build. I've kept the main part with which he wanted, and I've sorted it out to a point where nothing gets stuck, nothing goes over the top, and it's all good. So this has been Hybridsteel. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. If you want your builds featured on this channel, please let me know in the comment section below, and we'll sort something out about sending the file over to me. If you have any problems, let me know in the comment section below so I can answer your questions and get to where you should be when coming to play this game. If you're new to this game, literally it's just a lesson learned, and there is a link in the description box below for any questions that you want to go. That goes to the Hydroneer Discord, and from there you can talk to any of us there, and you can come and ask for help. So thank you very much for joining me. This has been Hybridsteel. I want to say peace out, have fun, and enjoy everything you guys do. Don't forget you can become a channel member by joining, and you can get some merch in the description box with my merch store. So peace out, have fun, and enjoy everything you guys do. Bye-bye for now.